Hey there folks, and welcome to the 155 mile per hour Cup Tryouts. In this tryouts I'm doing the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4. My god, I need to do the oil change on this. So here's the parts and things you can do to the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4, and yes, this feels very deja vu, doesn't it? And that's because I am now, once in a while, going to be redoing these cars every now and then and such. Because yeah, I do need to redo some cars, and example was the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4, because since I changed my settings for the, or rules for the tryouts, I now need to change like 10 or 13 of the cars I did previously before, I think after the Corvette. Is even the Corvette? No, I think the Corvette Grade 4 is fine. I think it's the RCF, I think. It's like one of the two. It's like one of the two cars. Like after that, and I messed up there. Or not messed up, but I realized there was a better stance about how to do this. But yeah, I would say, yeah, inline 4-cylinder motor, fun little motor, and a great motor. It's on 252 horsepower. And yeah, no engine swap. You know, I will say, if I have any ideas what to toss for engine swap, probably toss the grade 3 VGT Volkswagen motor, or there's another one, the Audi Quattro motor. That's like the two interesting motors I can think of for this car. I would say that's basically about it I can think of. And for customization, just rims. That's basically rims. That's all you get to do. Yeah, if you want the special Oz racing rims, because yeah, this is one of the cases where you have a racing, a different manufacturer for the rims and stuff. And I gotta say, love those rims. Those rims are sick, especially when you paint them red like that. But for the tune setup, I just basically raised the suspension because this is an FF, and you need it to be a bit more, I want to say nose heavy. It's better saying. That's because in case you put so much horsepower down in the car will start having a over throttling, and this car, even at 250, oh wait, no, it's 258. 258, this car's horsepower is a bit of a overdrawn beast at the end of it. Really quick on the acceleration, really quick on the speed. I'll just say in advance, but yeah. Overall, oh yeah, make sure as always pause in case you want that transmission setup. If you want to comply to this rule setting of mine. Let her say, very fun setup style, and probably one of the fastest Grade 4 cars, period. Because then look at that time there, a minute 07.871 is way faster than what originally was. By the way, it was like 234 horsepower, only hit like a minute, like 8.5. Also, here's the vinyl too. But yeah, the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4 is a phenomenal beast of a Grade 4. Probably like one of the fastest Grade 4s thus far, still. And the best part, I had to up the horsepower. Because yeah, by potential of hitting 125, it was only hitting 123 with just a 234. So I had to up it just a bit more. So as a result, you got potentially the fastest Grade 4 car right here. Potentially. And this car is definitely no exception, and I gotta say, I have kind of a love to this car now because of the reason of this. I will note technically the Grade 4 one, I can't say much for the production side of things. I hope the production side of things can perform a similar factor of what this is serving. Serving weighing only like 2,314 pounds, by the way. That is light. That is light for a coupe hatchback. Holy crap. Good lord. But yeah, the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4 is a based on car, by the way. It does not technically exist. However, there is a variant that is based, that the Grade 4 one could be heavily based on, which is the Scirocco Cup Racer. And when I say Scirocco Cup Racer, I mean Scirocco R Cup Racer, because yeah, there should be an R to it, but it's just called the Scirocco Grade 4 in this case. This is the this is based off the Scirocco R Cup Racer, but what apparently it is. And the Scirocco Cup Racer was like a one-make series and a one-year program too, of just people just driving Scirocco R Cup Racers, just see who's kind of just the best and how it is and how fun it is at the end of it. But it later got replaced though. It got replaced by the Audi TT Cup Racer, which that is real. So as a result, the Scirocco Cup Racer, who knows if that's going to exist or not. I do know there's another variant too, besides the Cup Racer one, which is in Gran Turismo 6. There was a Scirocco called the N24. I don't know if that was the Cup Racer or not, for that matter, I will say. Or just another variant at the end of it. But yeah, the Scirocco Grade 4, a very phenomenal hatchback coupe, and I to this day, I'm very shocked about this car, how crazy quick it can be. So this is a little mad old machine, because on the turning side, I would say definitely 7, and on the acceleration side, probably a 9 out of 10 for how freaking quick this thing hits. I think it hits like 116 on the Tiger Nord one straight up ahead here. When we get to the climb section here. Yeah, let's see. If it hits 111 just there alone, this good lord. Good lord, is this a quick little machine. It's definitely a time attack kind of machine, but I'm not gonna say it's just not a time attack. This thing overall is a beast. A freaking beast machine. And it shocks me how crazy this car can get. Because I would think I would have to lower this on those settings, but no. In like 114 there on the acceleration department, holy crap. Good lord, that's quick. Yep, so now on to the best lap here, because yeah, hit a minute 07.750. I think I already broke the time for what the time was initially was, so now it's even quicker than what it was. So good lord. So let's see on the best lap here. In terms of what it's against, in terms of its time, because yeah, since now I have this time now, I can see the differences between the old truck and this. The old truck did a minute .08.156, just blasted through that. Now it needs to beat the Jimny, which I believe that's the Jimny Swift. The Jimny Swift did a minute 07.565, and I can't remember if that was an old one or not for that case. I will say. I'm not mad. But yeah, it needs to beat the Jimny at the minute 07.565. So let's see if it does exactly that. Or it's just a bit tad off. For that matter. As we go through the straightaway of the Tiger Nord one again. Being like, let's see, 114, 115. Okay, so it is 115. 115. So yeah, definitely like a 9 out of 10 for acceleration. Like, holy crap, this thing moves. But 107.664 though, it did not beat the Jimny Swift, but that's fine anyways, because I would be surprised if it beat that, to be honest. But that's still really quick. Like, in grade 4 regards, good luck beating that Corvette C7 for that case, because Corvette C7 only did a minute .08.331. Just holy shit. Holy shiitake. Now, let's talk about any problems that the Scirocco Grade 4 has. And also, I guess, mention... I know, I'll wait on that one. But, I was going to mention, like, the tire burn stuff. I was like, I'll wait on that. Because I kind of just usually wait till, like, the near end on that one anymore. But to say, though, on the... if any issues that the Volkswagen Scirocco has, it would be the steering a little bit. It's a bit on the understeer side when you throttle press, like big time. So you have to be kind of careful with steering, or you might understeer or oversteer. Yeah, oversteer. I'm pretty sure it's oversteer. If it's not, it's understeer. Yeah, because I think it's like underwhelmed. Yeah, okay, yeah. So underwhelmed, overwhelmed. Yeah, okay. So underwhelmed would be the same for that. Never mind. Because underwhelmed steering, you basically don't have enough steering, even though you should be steering at a more appropriate angle about it. But the car doesn't want to give out at the end there because it's either over throttling or he just doesn't have the steering whatsoever. But yeah, we're hitting a mid 32.308 though on that lap there, which is hitting about between the NSX Grade 4, the old one, and the old. Oh no, it was the Genesis. The Genesis was the last Grade 4 I did before the revamp. I will say, I think, for the most part. And the Genesis was in a mid 32.220, so it needs to be that for exact numbers. But yeah, overall, in terms of problems, I could say, while it does over throttle a bit, it does not burn out the tires, so it's not that bad in that department. It's just the steer department for anything. Doesn't want to steer enough in more than it should, as the saying goes. But others say very phenomenal machine overall. I'm still going to get a 7 on the turning at the end there because this thing still turns very snappy. It's just if you push so much throttle down, it will not go with it sometimes. Or that's such. It's a very fun machine overall. Oh yeah, I think I did forget to show something that in the headlights, which if you go in the special customization, you can change the headlights. I think you can change these yellow, just to say in advance on that. You can do that. That's such. Yep, so now we're hitting a mid 31.830 though there, which yeah, that just blasts us through a couple competition there. So let's see where it's actually sitting. It's in between the Corvette C7 Grade 4, this is actually where it's kind of getting close to each other, to the Lexus RCF, I think. Oh wait, no, I take that back. I'm at 31.413. Okay, we're just blasting through those two now. At best, in terms of competition I'm seeing here, it looks like the Jimny Swift once again, with the Jimny Swift in a mid 31.230. And like I said, that might be the old one. Let's see if it beats that time. If it beats that time, it is the king of the times, as of so far, basically. And the best part, it might already is because, like I said, that Jimny Swift, I believe that is an old one. I did. That's got a relook just in case. And such. Okay, after relooking, I can definitely say that yeah, the Jimny Swift is definitely an old time. So yeah, this could be the king of the times, which I'm not surprised. The Scirocco Grade 4 kind of deserves it at the end of the day for being this upper in the performance department. Like holy crap, this thing's split. That thing goes. Well, I'll say on the Cup side, I think if it hits Sport in GT, I think it will deteriorate pretty bad in that department. Because yeah, as the saying goes, Grade 4s can go up to potentially GT in terms of speed and such. That's about it where it can kind of hit. Him 131.392. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's probably like first place. Now onto the speed side of things. Can the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4 hold it there? Because I'll just say this in advance. For speed, it's kind of not really that great in that department, but the acceleration might back it up at the end of the day. At the such. As it hits only about 143 miles per hour. It's going to hit 140 here, but when we get to the other straight though, it's going to hit like 143. So technically not bad, but also not that great for the most part. And it needs to beat the Corvette C7 at 211.837. I don't see that. That's such. So let's see if it can beat that straightaway of speed of such. But I'd say what to say about the Volkswagen Scirocco Grade 4. Actually not much else. It's kind of sad because at the end of this car got basically pushed to the side, but it's a very phenomenal machine at the end of it. I will say for an alternative to the Volkswagen Golf, because I think that's what essentially the Scirocco is. It's a Golf, but a coupe hatchback style Golf, which, you know, might work in some ways, might not work in another way. But it is definitely in the performance department how good it was. Now we're hitting 143 here, and there we go. Yeah, I just never understand the whole when it comes to the making of the Volkswagen Scirocco though, because yeah, the Scirocco is like always that alt to the Golf at the end there. It's not very, not in my case, not a very understandable one. Because yeah, you had this, and then you had the Volkswagen Colorado. Just never understand why was that one not made over this one at the end of it. Matter of fact, we only have that car in GT7. How about you bring that car to GT7, please? That's the thing, guys. Because yeah, it's kind of weird we don't have the Volkswagen Colorado, which that's a very phenomenal hatchback. Now instead you got this alt, which, you know, like I said, potentially better alt, but you know. Yeah, we hit 2 minutes and 12.50. I don't know if it's going to hit the times, Captain, but let's see when we go to proceed to the best lap here if the time's faster than that, and we're hitting 2:12.020. It's really close to the C7 Corvette, so this might be where the Corvette actually beats even the Scirocco R GR4. So yeah, if I had to say for speed, probably like a 6 out of 10. It's okay, but it's not really the greatest in that department compared to the other candidates, like even the Corvette C7 was hitting 145, and that is apparently good enough to beat the Scirocco in terms of speed department tracks. That sucks, but if it's still on the balance course though, the Scirocco still beats it right there. And I'm just gonna say, if you want to mostly beat your opponents, you want to beat them where it's really at, which is either the balance or the speed side, or balance at the end of the day, but you want to be more accelerate balance, or you want to be more speed balance, so to say. And I'd probably just say go for the balance speed side of things. If you love speed, so go for the speed. Especially when it's a Cup Tryouts. It's not the sports speed. Probably on the sports speed in the future ones though, maybe aim for the acceleration, although, again, you're going to be burning fuel. Which I also say burn fuel loosely, because I think the C7 burns more than the Scirocco at the end of the day. So it really depends on that, because I'll just say that I think the Scirocco is better on that department, if I recall. Let's look up here. So I think I have the C7. Oh no, I don't think I do. Okay, then I won't know yet until I do the C7. I had the Viper though, so I guess that's a good comparison there. But yeah, by comparison, yeah, the Scirocco beats the Viper, which shocks me on that big time. I think it would, but then again, Viper has a V10. Although we have that Copperhead coming eventually here, it's V8, such. So I wonder how good that's gonna be. And I'm happy that Dodge is bringing back the sports car that is something like the Copperhead or the Viper, especially the old Copperhead concept car. I hope GT7 or Gran Turismo was able to bring that right too in the future too, because that would be a cool little wake up to toss when that happens. But that's basically the Volkswagen Scirocco R GR4 though, which beat the time of the Corvette C7 too on top of it, 2:11.741. Because I had to double check that. I was like, did they actually beat the time? Holy crap, it did. But in terms of events, you can't technically do a whole lot. You can do the turbo event because it does have a turbo, and turbos allow R GR4s to be raceable. World Touring 600, you can probably do the corn tracks, and that's probably all I'm going to suggest, because I don't know why I keep suggesting the tournament at 600. I don't think you should do that, period. Even as fast as this Scirocco is, it'd be one of the fastest of R GR4s. I wouldn't really suggest it. Oh, and yeah, the GT Cup R GR4, because it regulates, so, you know. So we're going to go to Igor Dorblin for this one, because this is technically the first car I did way back. Doing 25 laps, because yeah, that's different right there. Because I did actually measure this time. Because yeah, I'm going to try to start measuring a bit better for better cases and such. But I am going against the previous, not previous tryouts, but the 155 pedestrian tryouts. So at least here's this. Here's a teaser of the opponents in the far future. But when I say far future, probably the next two or three cars I'm gonna do for the main tryouts, because this is the side tryouts after all. And like I said, I'm gonna be doing one of the cars here and there. I'm not gonna do it all the time, but try to do as much as I can. Probably for the next week, I'll probably do 2 Ghostmaster episodes for that next week, perhaps. But we'll see here, or none at all. It really depends on how busy my next of the week stuff is gonna be. Never know, never know. Although it feels like a calm week, but you know, stuff could change. Stuff could change very much. But basically, I'm going against the pedestrian 155 tryout cars that I probably tossed this. Well, you know, speaking of deja vu, I done this car like 3 times. I done it back then when, God, what was the? I think I just limited. Yeah, I limited the. God, what was it exactly? I think I just limited the 155 miles per hour at the end of the day. Didn't have no doubt about process about it, and then there's this one now, which I did this one previously, which was a revamp one, and then now I'm doing it again with the revamped transmission, acceleration, speed in mind now. Cause yeah, back then it was just a gear ratio. Then the next one was about speed, and then there's this one. Or no, I think it was about PT, matter of fact, or something like that. It was weird on that first one. I'm glad to be so much better efficient about that. But it sucks though. I have to record the car 3 times in a row and show the many differences and stuff. Because yeah, this roster has definitely changed several times as well. The pedestrian tryouts list, they changed so many times. So I had to figure out what cars would go into what at the end of the day, since it turns out the Volvo can't go in sports because it's not really that fast enough. Yeah, it shocks me too on that. But yeah, this is over. Cause yeah, it can't hit 160 on the Tokyo Expressway straight, and that really shocks me there. It's like, wow, you can't really do that? I'm surprised. But yeah, we got some interesting candidates here, because there is some returning ones, like the Toyota SFR 2015. Got the Mustang Mach. Because yeah, I don't know, although I will say the Mustang Mach might not actually be there, who knows, on that department. Because I will say I have something preserved for the 186 mile per hour race side, which is going to be the sports and Trans Ams. So I might be removing some cars there too. But yeah, we got the Chevrolet Corvette C3, which is like somewhat got smack dab by the oil crisis in terms of horsepower. I think it's a little bit less than what it normally is. I think it's like 357 horsepower for that, and I bumped it down to like 300, 250 or something like that. But these cars are tested in the same testings as the racing side, so potentially by horsepower or by speed, these cars might be quicker. But by tires burnage, though, that begs differ as thing goes. So it kind of makes you wonder: is the pedestrian one's better, or is the race one's better on that factor? Which that is technically what I'm going to try to figure out at the end of the day eventually. But this is where it stands so far. The thing goes. Yeah, we got the Civic Si Extra, because it turns out that can't do sports either, so I had to push that down, sadly. Well, looks like Pizza Boy's gonna be a little tier as thing goes. But that's fine anyways. The Miata is a little tier too, and those are 2 phenomenal sports cars at the end of the day. I want to say sports cars, pedestrian sports, because there's gonna be sports cars. Sports cars is the 300 kilometers per hour, you see. And I gotta admit, sports cars is very varied on that same. It could be the 155 or it could be the 186. The more I see the candidate of cars at the end of it. Concerning the Alfa Romeo Giulia is technically a sports car too, but the problem is it's not a very fast sports car, because even that can't do the 300 kilometers or the 160 miles per hour on the Tokyo Expressway straight of the south clockwise, for example. So yeah, I had to push that one down to attack weight. Although I did brought the Giulia back with a Honda K motor, so that's somewhat a saving grace, somewhat not. Because at the end of the day, I just want to do engine swap on that one. And I would love to do an engine swap on the Volvo, but the problem is it had the fucking Chevy Rampage motor, which if you want to piss me off anytime for engine swaps, it's either Honda K motor, Chevy LS, or some junk ass Bugatti motor at the end of the day. Something heavy, something 2-speed, and something just crap at the end of the day. And I'm not saying Honda K motor's crap, but it's a sort of crap, I'll just say, for FFs especially. If it's on like a FR, like the Giulia's case, that might actually be fine. And speaking of Giulia, the Giulia got the Giulia motor, but the problem is that motor is also bad too because of weight balancing problems and such. That you have to do for that just to get it to not freak out on the suspension elevation. Because yeah, it can't take top hills and downhills very well as a result when you do it initially. But yeah, so basically you have the cans. I also have the Honda S2000, which phenomenal machine, very phenomenal machine. But let's see if it's better than the Miata at the end of the day. And the Miata is in the far back, so it's got a lot of leeway, I would say, for this case entirely. And we also got the Citroen BX19 TRS, and that car is impressing the hell out of me, I will say. Because how fast that little commuter car is going. Because I am very shocked at how quick that little car is. For an 87 car, even though it looks like it came from the late 70s. Yeah, which I think it did. I think this is like the more recent model when it comes to that car behind me there. But yeah, overall though, I'm basically just gonna plow through these guys at the end of the day. And I do say sorta, because if we look here, over time of the 19th lap, the Monster Roadster was actually beating me at some point. It's like, holy crap, he's actually still going. But then I'm also not surprised because, reminder, I did one of the Iger Norman tryout. I think it was either the Italia or something else. I think it was something after the Italia. But after the 10th car, I basically reset and did Iger Norman on down again. And on that one, the Miata and the sports side, the old Miata, hitting 300 kilometers per hour and 160 on the Tokyo Expressway, because yeah, that one can do it. I will say this roadster could technically do that too. It should be able to. Good God, that would be pretty bad. But to say though, yeah, I was getting beaten by the Miata Roadster S, and in that previous tryouts one too, I did Iger Norman with another car. I got technically kind of somewhat destroyed by that old Miata at the end of it. So I'm also not surprised that this Miata is providing such a challenge at the end of it. Even on a very balanced factor. I say balance factor loosely because usually these AIs are not really that efficient on a balance factor. It's if you give them the leeway, then they become much quicker. So it's a very odd saying to that at the end of it. But it does shock me though that the Monster Roadster is holding the line at the end of it, and that's very impressive in that regard. And that's why people also love the Monster Roadster at the end of it, because you could just, you know, just keep on driving like it's no problem, and no big deal. But as you can see there here though, the Honda S2000 is having a bit more of a struggle, because it is a heavier, I would say the heavier cousin to the Monster Roadster, even though that older cousin goes to the RX-8. I say loosely on that, because the RX-8 is not that efficient either. But you know, it just tells you that the Monster Roadster could wipe the floor on some opponents at the end. That is still, because yeah, you have to compare Roadster to Roadster, and yeah, if that beats that, that's not a great sign. And that's why, by sales factor, that's probably why it went out of sell or discontinued eventually. Because if it ain't being the Miata, I'm sorry to say, you're just out of the bucket, sir. You need to beat the Miata. If you're not beating the Miata, you're not beating competition. Because that's why the Miata is kind of still around at the end of the day. Because the Miata is not just a machine; it's one of the most phenomenal sports machines, period. And it's a machine that a lot of manufacturers don't get at the end of the day. Because how the hell this thing could be that crazy when it only has like 170 horsepower, or even less than that? Because speed isn't the real factor when it comes to that car. The real factor is the suspension, the steering, tires, it's all less strain because it's a lighter machine at the end of it. This is why people have been poking onto cars, because they've been getting heavier lately, because when you make a car heavier, guess what's going to happen in return? Or strain on your suspension, tires, and everything else. I will say electric cars do allow a bit of a leeway to that because their propulsion is different to that of gas a little bit, but it still does burn at the end of the day. It still very much burns. It's not a huge difference, but it does apply a good case and somewhat not good case. Oh yeah, maneuverability is definitely a big case here, because then the car being this mid-light, you probably will not even need power steering to even steer that car at the end of the day, because the car being that light. Because the weight factor does apply to steering at the end of the day. Like a big old heavy truck like this, you can see like it's sitting in the back and pointed in place. Because I wanted to show an example that, yeah, in case you're wondering what the F-150 Raptor is in performance, this is its performance right here. Even though, yes, it is a 9 fuel, and yes, it is a 12 times tire burn, it still kind of shows something at the end of the day. That you gotta be careful what you call a race machine and what you don't call a race machine, because chances are you're gonna get freaking smoked in the long runs of things. And yes, I say long runs, not a damn drag race, because yes, in a drag race, yes, you're gonna destroy the Miata at the end of the day, because the Miata wasn't really intendally made for that. It was technically more intendally made for the track and on the endurance side of things, which, to me, much better. That's a much better pursuit to go after. Fuck the drag shit. Because drag racing, I'm sorry, I've seen it enough as if at this point. I don't believe drag racing is a good future to apply cars at the end of it. Yes, you're faster. Yes, you have more acceleration. But you know what else you also have? You have better gas burning, you probably pollute more, and your tires probably burn like no tomorrow. So the Miata is the perfect factor to go after, and I also kind of believe the Volkswagen Scirocco R GR4 hits that factor too. Again, you think I wasn't going to talk about the Scirocco there, all that? No, the Scirocco is also that kind of case. It's similar to the Monster Roadster. It is light. It is 2,300 pounds. That is very phenomenally good. If you, as long as you align it into a balanced spectrum, you will realize how much potential these cars could have. Potentially. But yeah, that's basically the Volkswagen Scirocco R GR4 I have to say about that. I do like the Versus here though. The Citroen VX was getting that damn close to the Mazda. Got it. That was very impressive in that regard, like I said. The Citroen might be the other case of very quick ass cars. I am very happy and very shocked at the same time. And the Honda S2000, it was coming eventually. It was getting there, but just not good enough. It does definitely show you that weight can be a detriment to some cars and stuff, and it really kind of shows there. Although you get more speed with the S2000, so you really have to think out of the box when it comes to the car design for that such. And that's probably the cool part when it comes to the car design in general. So you can make the most phenomenal machine, or you can make the most ass-backing machine, period. Really depends. But yeah, if I ever had to make a car, I'd probably make it as simple as a Miata at the end of it. Or even try to do, well, I probably would try to do a supercar, but probably something like 400 mid-light, something that crazy. Something that would hit 350 kilometers per hour inside things. But yeah, here's the next car that's going to be in the next tryouts in the far future. So say hello to the Honda M1 RS, and I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed what you've seen here. Until then, ciao. I hope you like what you've seen for watch, so take care, folks.